there is one thing a lot of people can't handle, and that's winning. People think that rejection or disappointment or being disrespected or being ignored or overlooked are the things that are painful to handle. Well, for all those things, rejection, being overlooked, being denied, being disrespected, for all those things are coping mechanisms. Some lose their minds, become violent, and they get their so-called validation when they become violent, but then they end up in jail. Others submit to what happened and cope with the pain. Others go into denial, they flee from the pain. Some freeze, they just become blank of what's going on. So the world has various ways to cope with discomfort. And when the discomfort is caused by real violence or by neglect or by real painful events, people can justify them having coping mechanisms, which is true. People develop coping mechanisms when they're overwhelmed with pain, with rejection, or with neglect and all those other stuff. But what if I told you that the number one thing most people, including many believers, can't handle is winning? Winning can overwhelm you. Let me explain why. Let's say now you have a bunch of girls who join this feminist movement against violence against women. And they all become very warm friends. They almost feel like sisters to one another. They're all in this fight against the patriarchy. Now, those girls turn into grown women, and they all have good paying jobs. They have a lot of money. So what now? When they were in teenage years, they were so upset with the patriarchy and all of that. But over the years, they booked success. They have so much money, they don't need a man to rely on financially. They have so much money, they can afford not having children because they have a lot of cash. And they've invested in various corporations, so they have dividend at the end of the month. Or they have revenue, I mean. So, now that they got what they wanted, not relying on a man, what now? Now, they'll realize sooner or later that they are designed to rely on men, that that's part of their nature as a female. So now they realize that all that winning that they were longing for was for nothing, because what they've won is not worth it because it goes against their long-term well-being. So was the winning worth it? No. But at the time they were looting and fighting for whatever they wanted, they never looked beyond the winning. Now let's go to another example. Let's say now that there is this killer out there who's stabbing and killing people. And now you have a lot of folks who are upset because there's a killer out there. And because of that, people now realize, okay, we need to look after one another. Well, you should look after one another anyway, but okay. So people begin to look after one another. And they put a lot of pressure on the police to catch the guy. After 3 years, finally they got the guy is convicted. And after hearing the conviction of the judge, people were rejoicing and partying about it. Okay, what now? You got the guy behind bars. What now? Now, they need to face all the other issues in the community that they overlooked. They were so busy with this guy to be captured, which is realistic because he's going around stabbing and killing people. But now, you as a community developed a social cohesion at the expense of the killer. So the killer is a killer anyway, but that doesn't mean you should scapegoat him. But anyway, they've built a sense of belonging by hating on that criminal. Now the criminal is dealt with, what will happen with the sense of belonging? It will fade away. People that became very close friends suddenly don't want to talk to each other anymore. So they've won. But what comes beyond the winning? What comes after the winning? Look, worldlings in general, they want enemies. Some would say that people in the world don't want to be bothered, just want to be at peace with one another. That's not true. Worldlings want enemies. Because as long as they're enemies, you can have an excuse for dumping your issues that you don't want to face. If you, for example, had a father who was emotionally unavailable and you grew up missing that warmth of a fatherly figure, now you can be healed from that once you face it. There's no excuse for remaining stuck in it. But at least you need to face it, and you need to face that the people around you allowed it to happen. But if the people around you would have dealt with that broke-ass father of yours, that he would realize, you know what, let me change my behavior. But the people enabled the broke-ass behavior of your father at your expense. So you also need to face that the community was in on it. This can be quite painful. So a lot of folks don't want to go there. So for them to have someone at work that they can't stand, oh, that's a salvation for them. Because now they can project that unhealed part of them onto that coworker, and now they can stand a coworker. Now they develop strong aversion against the coworker. Why do they develop strong aversion against the coworker? Because that strong aversion is self-medication from facing the childhood hurt that they don't want to face. Or let's say that in a community, there are several girls who have been sexually molested. And later, it becomes clear that those girls were molested because the parents didn't pay attention and the people around didn't do their job as community. So the community neglected those girls. So this is quite embarrassing, and this is coming to the light. And people from that community, they have jobs, they have spouses, all of that. So if the scandal comes out, a big portion of society is going to suffer economically, financially, and also socially, because crime will increase. Because people will go off one another, domestic violence will increase. So there's just an escalation coming. But now, you have this guy out there who makes videos on YouTube, and they can't stand who does the guy think he is. Now, everyone now develops a strong dislike or even a hatred against that guy on YouTube. Why? Because that hatred or that dislike is a self-medication for them not to have to face the neglect of their own community. So what happens when they manage to shut down that guy on YouTube? Or what happens when you manage to get rid of a coworker? There will be elation and euphoria for a while, but the real thing is not dealt with. Look, those that truly want to win, they'll have to face all the issues, uproot all of them, and then they will win on the long term. And they realize that once they win, life is going to be different. Now, they have to face difficulty from now on. Now it's no more fleeing, no running away, nor escalating. And it also means losing some of the comforts they hold dear. A lot of folks can't handle winning. Winning is a frightening thing for them. That's why worldlings self-sabotage so much. Society is one collective self-sabotage of the group. Society are all those cowardly adults come together and agree we're going to sabotage ourselves and our children, but we're going to pretend to do the opposite. And anyone that challenges us, we kill them. That's what society is. So, winning is quite frightening to many people. Okay? So,